A farmer was talking to his neighbor. "I don't understand why my turkey is running around everywhere like crazy." The neighbor, "Maybe it saw you buying cranberry sauce. Do you think this is a reasonable explanation? If you find it funny, please like and subscribe." Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to tell you a story. It's a simple story, often called the farmer's explanation. But it carries a weight that I think we can all feel in our lives. It's about perspective, about how we react to the things that happen to us, and about the hidden threads that connect everything. So, the story begins with an old farmer who had worked his land for many, many years. One day, his only horse, the animal he relied on for plowing his fields, ran away. When his neighbors heard the news, they all rushed over to his house to console him. "Oh, what terrible luck," they said. "This is such a disaster. How will you ever manage your farm now?" The old farmer just listened patiently. When they were all done, he looked at them calmly and simply replied, "Maybe," and that was all he said. The neighbors left, shaking their heads, thinking the old man had lost his senses from the shock. What did he mean? Maybe? It was clearly bad luck. A few days later, something incredible happened. The farmer's horse returned, but it wasn't alone. It had brought with it a whole herd of wild horses from the mountains. Suddenly, the farmer who had lost his one horse now had a dozen. The same neighbors, hearing this news, came running back. This time, they were ecstatic. "What amazing fortune!" they exclaimed. "You're a rich man now. This is the best thing that could have ever happened." And what did the farmer say? He just looked at the new horses, looked at his excited neighbors, and said, "Maybe?" Again, the neighbors were baffled. How could he not see this as a blessing? They just couldn't understand his calm, almost detached response. It was obviously good luck, wasn't it? Well, the story doesn't end there. The farmer had a son, his only child, who was a strong and capable young man. The son, seeing all these new, wild horses, decided he would try to tame them. He was a skilled rider, but one of the wild horses was particularly spirited. It bucked and thrashed, and in an instant, it threw the farmer's son to the ground. The fall was bad. The son's leg was broken, and it was a complicated fracture. The local doctor said he would be left with a permanent limp and would never be able to work the fields with his father again. You can guess what happened next. The neighbors came over once more, this time with long faces and words of pity. "Oh, what a tragedy," they lamented. "First the blessing of the horses, and now this. Your only son crippled for life. This is truly terrible luck." The old farmer, sitting by his son's bedside, listened to their words. He looked at his son, then back at his neighbors, and with that same steady voice, he said, "Maybe." By now, the neighbors just gave up trying to understand him. They left, convinced the old man was just plain strange. Just a week or two later, the country went to war. Military officials came marching through the village, conscripting every able-bodied young man to join the army. The war was brutal, and everyone knew that most of the young men who were taken would likely never return. The neighbors watched in sorrow as their own sons were marched away. But when the officials came to the old farmer's house and saw his son with his badly broken leg, they passed him by. He was unfit for military service. He was allowed to stay home. And so, the farmer's son was saved from an almost certain death in battle. This story really makes you think, doesn't it? It's so easy for us to label things as good or bad the moment they happen. We get a promotion, it's good. We miss a flight, it's bad. We pass an exam, good. We get a flat tire, bad. Our lives are a constant series of judgments about our circumstances. But the farmer shows us a different way. He understands that life is a complex web of interconnected events. What looks like a disaster one day might be the very thing that saves you the next. And what seems like a stroke of incredible luck might lead to an unforeseen challenge. The farmer isn't being negative or pessimistic. He's being wise. He's practicing a kind of radical acceptance. He knows that he doesn't have the full picture. None of us ever do. Think about your own life. Can you recall a time when something you thought was a terrible setback actually opened the door to something wonderful? Maybe a job you didn't get led you to a much better opportunity down the road. Or a painful breakup ultimately allowed you to find a more compatible partner, or, even more importantly, to find yourself. Life is full of these farmers' explanation moments. But we often miss them because we're so caught up in our immediate reaction. The farmer's wisdom isn't about being passive or not caring. He still took care of his son. He still managed his farm. It's about not letting the highs get you too high or the lows get you too low. It's about understanding that the story is still unfolding. We are in the middle of our own stories, and we can't possibly know how this chapter will influence the next one. This perspective can be incredibly freeing. It releases us from the anxiety of trying to control everything and from the despair that comes when things don't go our way. It allows us to face life's uncertainties with a sense of calm and curiosity rather than fear. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we can start to ask, "I wonder what this will lead to." It's a practice, of course. It's not easy to say maybe when you're facing a real-life crisis. Our instincts are to panic or to celebrate wildly. But maybe we can start small. The next time something inconvenient happens, like getting stuck in traffic or spilling coffee on your shirt, just take a breath and whisper to yourself, maybe. Maybe being stuck in traffic saves you from an accident up ahead. Maybe having to go home and change your shirt leads to an unexpected, positive encounter. We just don't know. And the beauty of the farmer's explanation is that it acknowledges this fundamental truth of life. We are all just farmers, tending to our own little plots of land, and we can't control the weather. But we can control how we respond to the rain and the sun. We can choose to see the bigger picture even when it's blurry. So, the next time life throws you a curveball, whether it seems good or bad, remember the old farmer. Take a step back. Take a deep breath and just say, maybe. You might be surprised at how much peace that simple word can bring. Thanks so much for watching today. If this story resonated with you, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your own farmer's explanation moments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more content that makes you think. Until next time, take care.